We purchased a new hot spring beam model hot tub last year, and we were told by the dealer that it would run fine if it were wired to a dedicated 30 amp plug on 115 volts. We found out through experience on a cool night here in Florida that the blower will run, but the heater won't run at the same time, which means you actually end up getting cold sitting in the hot tub. We decided to rewire it for 220. We got the diagram from the dealership that showed where the jumpers go to change from 115 to 220, and we had a licensed electrician install it, but it still wasn't working correctly, so we did a little bit more research. The manual shows where you're supposed to put the jumpers, and there's a schematic that shows how the wiring is supposed to be run. One line is for 20 amps, which is the blower, and one is for 30 amps, which is the heater. All that was done, but it still was not heating when the jets were running. It even says there that you're supposed to use an authorized hot spring service agent and an electrician. That's because they don't tell you something. I spoke to a company representative who gave me the answer quite simply on the phone. He said that I would have to remove the access cover and get into the box where the wiring was done. So I took the cover off, and it gave me access to the wiring. And then he's told me to look on the circuit board and locate a small button that needed to be pressed. It's located on the right side of the circuit board, and it's underneath some wires. It's like a small white button that I ended up using a pencil to push in. You have to do this when the power is on, and I just didn't want to electrocute myself, especially with high voltage. So I depressed the button, and that brought up a screen on top, which was the service mode. Once you got into service mode, you can just use the keys to cycle through the different menus, and it was actually pretty intuitive. I went to configuration and selected that, and then I went through the different configuration modes, and then one of them said heater concurrent. That means that the heater runs at the same time as the jets. That was disabled, so I enabled it. And then there's also a blower enable, which was on the next screen, which I turned on as well. None of this is in the manual. I don't know why, because if you have an electrician working on it, they're not going to know either unless they're an authorized hot spring technician, which sounds like a service call and more money to me. You can cycle through the menus and see the different things that you can control, all the way from lighting and Bluetooth speakers and various different timers for the jets and things like that. So once you have selected what it is that you want, all you need to do is turn the power off and turn it back on, and that will set the settings within the computer on the hot tub. Here I turned off the 20 and 30 amp breaker and let them sit for a minute, and then just turned them back on. Once the power was back on, the hot tub booted up, showed me the version of the software it was running, and then just to check it, I turned the temperature up a couple more degrees from where it was set and turned on the jets. I stuck my hand in there to feel, and the heater was on. What do you know? Hopefully this is helpful to you and can save you some frustration as well as some money. Thanks for taking a look, and don't forget to subscribe.